Shalom. Kohalo Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rahakwadash. Yahweh being the true name of the Heavenly Father. Bahashem means in the name. Yahweh Shai will be the true name of the Son of the Heavenly Father, who the world knows is Jesus Christ, but his true ancient Hebrew name is Yahweh Shai. Double honors to our teachers, the apostles, and the bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, love, and salutations to the Lord's elect, teaching in truth and sincerity for the sake of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and straight to the point. Here's the devil and his evil schemes, in which the desires of his heart is to really chip the masses. But the Lord has given us command to not take this guy's device under no circumstances. Because although there's going to be a famine here in America, where you're going to see the resources dry up, and in that event, you're going to see evils intensify far greater than what you're already seeing, or really what you expect. You see, and when people get desperate here in America from them losing resources and seeing evils intensify, this guy's going to present a device that's going to act as a form of solution to help you regain footing here in America. But yet it's really going to be for your life, man. You see, because real quick, this is Proverbs chapter 7. In verse 21, it says, with her much fair speech, she caused him to yield. With the flattering of her lips, she forced him. You see, and this is how America is going to present this chip to people, man. It's going to be through fair speech. You're going to hear a lot about the benefits of the chip, you know, on all the things it can do, the information that it stores. You know, you're a person who, you know, you often misplacing things, or you can't keep up with stuff. Well, that chip is going to hold a lot of information from your birth certificate, your ID, your bank, you know, your banking information, your social security. All these different things is going to be stored on that chip, even your work ID number. You see, your medical information. So through much fair speech, you know, all these benefits that this thing is going to hold. You know, you might have a child, you know, for the sake of your child getting kidnapped, you might want to put the C-hip in them to help you keep up with, to help you better track them for when a kidnapper or you know, a predator, you know, they probably will say, want to prey on your child, you see? So they're going to make it seem like it's beneficial and it's a smart move, you know, for the lack of better terms, to the point where people is going to consider it, you know? But as it continue on to say, it says he goeth after her straightway, as an ox goes to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks, to the dike strike through his liver, as a bird hasten to the snare, and know it not that it is for his life, you see? And these people are not going to know when this device is presented that it's for their life, especially you so-called blacks, Latino, Native American Indians, which you are the children of Israel. And their command is really towards us to not take this man's device, you know, because there's a judgment for it. When you read Revelation, the 14th chapter, the Lord tell you that how you're going to be tormented in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, because you received that mark, man. You see? And that mark, you know, is going to act as a form of, as a solution when the evils intensify here in America, when the famine increase, when the food go and the money crash. He's going to present a micro C-hip, man. This is a part of his evil scheme, you know. But even with that C-hip for you to buy and sell, it's going to have many different benefits as well. You know, but just going here. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 2. It's like 2 Corinthians chapter 2. In verse 11, it says, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, you see? And we're saying the physical counterpart of Satan here in the earth will be the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. Because when you go into this word Satan, right, it takes you back to adversary, you see? So when you go into an adversary, you know, it says one who oppose another in purpose or act, you see? So this guy in his society, his ways, his conduct here in the earth is adverse towards the ways of the Lord. This guy present this device to you is adverse towards the ways of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. You know? So the one who's going to present it to you would be the so-called white man Esau Edom, showing you that he's the physical counterpart of Satan here in the earth, man. You know, and he has an advantage of a lot of people here in the earth because of his deception. He's going to deceive people into thinking that this device is a beneficial thing here in the earth. You know, he's going to present it as a form of relief. You know, the solution to evils. You see? But it's really going to be for your destruction, man, if you take it. But continuing on, it says, for we are not ignorant of his devices, because storm with the apostles and other bishops of great millstone, the Lord working through those men has given them the revelation to what this device is. And it's that micro seed here that this guy is building, his Neuralink and all these different companies that's investing in chips to really go inside people, man. You see? But people are ignorant to this because they gonna think that it's for their good. But that's the evil scheme of the devil to really destroy you. You know, because the Lord tell you when he think to fill his belly, how those missiles is gonna start raining down upon them. And if you got that seed here, well, you're not gonna be delivered. You see? But reading this in the NLT, you know, it says, so that saying will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes. You see? So the different tactics this guy's going to use to present it, to make people more comfortable, because you already, built mentally to accepting it because of all this digital, you know, these digital payments from tap and pay, you know, and different things like that. He's already, that's the word I'm looking for, conditioning. He's already conditioning your mind to accepting this new world order and this new age of technology, man. You see, so when he come with that C-hip and you ain't got to tap your phone, you can just tap your hand. You know, it won't be foreign to you people. It's going to be a lot of people to accept it, but he's going to have resistance as well with it, man. You know, but just going into a quick article showing that this is where things is headed, man. This is from thewire.com. It says tracking Junior with a micro C-hip. You see? It says an RFID C-hip that gets implanted under a child's skin and transmits a radio signal is being marketed in Mexico as a way to foil kidnappers. You see? It says critics say the device is far from foolproof and raises civil liberties concerns. Yeah, because you're gonna have a resistance. This guy's, trying to slick present this chip to you to going under your skin. You know, but yet this is where life is gradually headed towards, man. Where he's gonna force this thing upon you. It ain't gonna be if you want it or not, because even, you know, it's gonna be out of a state of distress, because he's gonna shift the way of society, man, by causing a famine and putting you people in a place of distress. You know, the Lord tell you how this would be distress of nations, along with that perplexity, the seeing the ways ruin. So your distress, along with you not having answers to what's going on in the earth, you not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, is going to lead these people to bugging out. Because the seeing the rays roaring, which you read about this in Luke, the 21st chapter, the 25th verse. Yes, that seeing the ways roaring is a metaphor for people going into an uproar. But that's led by perplexity and distress. You know? And that solution to that uproar is going to be this device, that RFID C-hip, man. You see, but just skipping down. It says here, according to a press release account announcing the collaboration, the foundation has estimated that 133,000 Mexican children have been abducted over the past 5 years. You see, so that's an evil that's in the earth that's going to intensify, but yet he's going to use that as leverage to present this device to you, you know, to lower those numbers, to keep up with your child, you know, to have better security of your children. You see that fair speech? This ain't going to present a deadly device to you. You see, and I'm going to skip around in this article. It says, It says here, it says, there are distinct projects on the table, but one form of finding children is putting scanners in strategic locations where a search is being conducted for a very kid that has been reported missing, said Carlos, I'm gonna try to say his name, associate general director. So yeah, they're using children as leverage because they know children really play on the emotions of the people, man. You want to keep up with your child. You want to have better security of your children. So these places where we have scanners, like in airports, banks, schools, or different things like that. Walmarts, where they got these metal detector scanners, where if you got that C-hip in your child, it'll go off and it'll notify. You see, they just through fair speech, they trying to get you to accept, or consciously accept that C-hip, man. That deadly device, which is the mark of the beast. But continuing on, right? It says the company envisions placing walk-through scanners similar to metal detector portals used in airports and malls, bus stations, and other areas where a missing child may appear. The C-hip also could be used to identify children who are found unconscious, drugged, dead, or too young to identify themselves. Critic says kidnappers could circumvent the device easily. You see, so you see that device, it can identify who you is, man. Who you are, who you is, who cares? But that goes back into that word grapho. When you dive deep into that word mark in the Greek, it takes you back to charagma. Then when you go into the root word of charagma, it takes you back to charax. Then the root word of charax takes you back to grapho, and grapho takes you back to the information, man. All these things that this C-hip is gonna store, the benefits of this C-hip, gonna have your information. Nigga ain't gonna have to ask for your ID. You see, but you see that this is what these people are leaning towards, man. This is what's on the table to being considered, But just skipping down, it says here, the vert chip is injected under the skin of the upper arm or hip in an outpatient procedure. A special scanner reads the RF signal emitted by the micro C-hip to obtain the device ID number, which then is entered into a database to access personal data about the individual. See, this thing gonna have your personal information. Other potential uses of the C-hip, according to the company's official, including scanning unconscious patients to obtain their medical records or restricting access to high security buildings by scanning workers to verify their clearance, man. See, so it's going to have your work ID number on it and everything, man. What else could it be? This is what society is leaning to. This is what they're building the near future to be, man. If you want to continue with the system, buying and selling, you're going to need this device. But yet, if you take it, the Lord going to destroy you. All right? Real quick. This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, you see. So this guy's going to cause all, through his system, whether he, where it's going to be legislated in, it's going to be mandated for you to take this device. Small and great, you see, of high stature, or just a little neighborhood, a baby, a baby coming out, something as insignificant as a baby. You see, it's going to be mandated to take that C-hip, man, that mark. It says reach a poor, free, or bond to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Yes, because you have Elon Musk with this Neuralink thing. You see? But yet, the fair speech, he's telling you the benefits of it, telling you can walk again. The blind can see. You see? It says, and that no man may buy or sell save he that hath the mark of the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you're not going to be able to participate in society, going about your day-to-day life without this device in you, man. This is what thing is gradually headed towards. You see? Because just like in the times of Egypt, when the famine took hold of that place, those people gave themselves up to Pharaoh for the sake of food and water, man. Hey, it says, "By us and our land. For why should we die in our presence?" Roughly paraphrasing. And you people here in America, you're going to be in that same position when the perplexity intensifies. You don't see no light at the end of the tunnel. You're going to cry to the mountains. You see? And they're going to give you the solution. And it's going to be this device. And we're taking this device. This is Revelation chapter 14 and verse 9. It says, "And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same must drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb." Now, what's going to bring forth this fire and brimstone? Well, this is World War III. This is why the missiles was created, man. You see, all the tools is on the scene. It says, "And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receive the mark of his name." Now let's go into this word mark, which takes you back to charagma in the Greek, which is a stamp, an imprinted mark, a mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. So this is how you're going to pledge your allegiance to the so-called white man, Esau Edom. It's going to be through you receiving this device. And it's not doctrine, as these other camps would say, white women and an embargo, sin. This is going to be a physical thing that's going to be presented to take, to go into your skin. It's imprinted. It's going to go into you. It's going to be a part of you, you know, for you to continue with this system. Matter of fact, let me go back, because when you go here, it says the badge of servitude. It's like, but going to that next word, which is karox, it says here, a pail or stake. Now, a stake is something that you stick in the ground, you know, a palisade. Let's look up a stake. You know, it's like a piece of wood, man. They normally had a picture of it. Let's look up palisade real quick. Yeah, you see? So something that's sharpened to a point, you know, I believe that's one of the definitions. Yep. In the strong definition, it says to sharpen to a point, because it's going to act as a form of that tool that's going to be used to insert this device inside of you. You see? And even going into this root word grapho, going back into that article, because it says it's going to have your information from giving you access to high security buildings for work. You know, you might pass out. They can scan you and they got all your information. Yes, when you go into this word grapho, it says to write with reference to the form of a letter. It says here, to commit, the B definition, to commit to writing things not to be forgotten. Yeah, your name, your birth certificate, you know, your medical information, your social security, things that's not to be forgotten, man. Yeah, write down records. You see? It's going to have your records. You go right here to the D definition. It says to write one by writing and writing epistle to give information. Directions, you see? So this is going to have your information and directions to you on it, man. All within this one device. You see? And this is what the so-called white man Esau Edom is trying to present to you. So yeah, I can, you know, in which this is the mark of the beast. So yeah, I can, you know, I pray that you was edified. I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rahakwadash, Lord will, to next video. Shalom.